Hey crafty friends, it's Heidi Scott with DIY Dreaming. I have another flower and some other good stuff to show you. This flower that I'm going to show you is a mix between a rolled rosette and a stacked scrunched type flower. We're going to be using a jelly roll. And in case you don't know what jelly rolls are, they're long strips of fabric. They usually roll them like this. So they look like a jelly roll, like a cinnamon roll kind of thing, that quilters use. And I can't remember where I got this specific set. It may have been sent to me by one of my followers. But I know I have purchased a lot of jelly rolls at Walmart, and they have some cute colors. So I'm gonna talk about this board. I'm gonna show you this whole idea start to finish. And before I do that, I'm gonna fix my camera because it looks like I'm falling over to the side. That bothers me. Maybe you didn't even notice, I don't know. It looks like I'm leaning. Oh well, okay. So I don't know if you recognize this. It's a frame, a blackboard type deal that was in terrible shape that I bought at my local Goodwill, and I have been switching it in and out pretty much for every season for the last 6 months. And maybe you noticed these. These are button magnets that I have hot glued in the corner. And in past versions of it, I've done different things. Like this was one. Let's see if I can get that to go on there. This is a rolled rosette also, and these little wood pieces here, they're just little hearts upside down, little wood hearts upside down. So we're gonna make something different for this corner today. And let's see, I think we'll do the stencil real quick so that can be drying, and then we will make one of these. Isn't that interesting? So, okay, so we're gonna be using this stencil that I am totally loving. It is, let me see if I can just quickly drop my link. It's from Magnolia, and we made tea towels with it. I've done a few other things with it. Got it, okay. And anyways, the detail of it is awesome. And then we're gonna use chalk paste, because this is a chalkboard. We're going to use chalk paste in blue ice, in Tiffany teal, and then in orange tiger. I think I have a slight orange problem, and those colors are going to go with this. It's going to be super cute. So let's just do that real quick, and then we'll do the flower, and you guys are going to love this. I bet you're going to want to do it too. Okay, so since I've used this a few times, there's no need at this point to fuzz it. They do, when you use them with ink, they do get stained, and they start to look a little bit like that horrible Mandela lace stencil that I love so much. But they still work just fine. They just get a little grungy looking. Okay, and I'm just eyeballing that and pressing it down. And I did want to tell you guys that if these comments right here are in your way, you should be able to swipe them either up or down or side to side, depending on what device you're on, to move them out of your way. Anyways, where are you watching from? I'd love to know that. And have you been making any of the DIY flowers that we do here at DIY Dreaming? I'd love to know that. If you have questions, feel free to put them in the comments. If you like this project or anything else we do here, and you think your friends and family would too, feel free to sprinkle. Okay, so I just put some of these little stir sticks in each pot. And I'm just gonna do blub, 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 blub. This is gonna come together really quick. You'll be surprised. I've already practiced once, and I washed it off so I could do it live because it's so cute. And these colors go perfectly with jelly rolls that we're going to be using. I always seem to put too much chalk paste on when I'm doing one of these swirly doodly do things. And then you can't really put it back in the jar because you'll mess up your whole jar. So anyways, okay, and then I'm just taking one of the Magnolia squeegees. Let's see what everyone's saying. Okay, so stay with me because this new flower on a little braided thing is coming just momentarily. As soon as I just get this part done, then we'll do that. So I'm trying to get some of this to have, you know, the main colors and not just a huge mix of everything. I don't know if that makes any sense. So I am literally just pushing the chalk paste through the holes in my stencil. And it's funny, I get messages from you guys saying that you're afraid, which I guess I was afraid too in the beginning, but there's nothing to be afraid of. There's really nothing you can do that's gonna be so bad that you can't start over. So, you can see how easy it is. My most common mistake is that I push my medium outside of the edge of my stencil. I seem to do that a lot. Okay, so I'm just taking the big globs off. I hope this is pretty. I think it will be. I love this stencil, especially for tea towels. So if you want to do something like that, just keep in mind that you cannot use chalk paste on a tea towel. You cannot. I'm sorry. It will get all over. Okay, so this is what we have. You have to use ink for something like that. Oh my gosh. This is even prettier than the first time I did it. Wow. Okay, let me throw this in my little tub over here. Where is it? Here. Towel. Oh my word. This is seriously beautiful. The stencil itself is awesome. And last time I went live, I had one of the owners of the company, Lisa Ramsey, on, and I was saying how I loved this stencil design and how awesome it was and what a great designer she was. And actually it was her sister who did the bulk of this. Her sister, it must run in their family to be creative. But anyways, isn't that a pretty stencil? And so it's numbers 624 to 26. Okay, so let's just set this to the side for now. We'll come back to it. And before I'm done, I want to tell you a little bit about chalk maintenance. Okay, so chalk paste is made from chalk, which is calcium bicarbonate, I think. I was never good in science. Anyways, its natural form is hard. So when they make it into chalk paste, they put moisture in it and other stuff. But it can have a tendency to dry out. So before you put your lid back on, I like to just give them one little squeeze from this. This is the Magnolia water, what do they call it, mister, with distilled water, not regular water. You don't want that because then regular water has germs and bacteria and all kinds of stuff in it. You don't want to grow anything yucky in your chalk paste. So anyways, I'm essentially just throwing it on the very top and then putting my lids on. And when I store them, I'm going to store them so that they're like this, not sideways or you know. upside down. Okay, so let's get to the flowers. All right. So seriously, if these comments here are in your way, see what you can do to get rid of them, because I want you to be able to see this. Okay, so this is just one of those Wilton cake boards, and these little guys are just clips that I got at Dollar Tree. You could use a, you know, one of those wood clips too. This makes it a little bit easier to work with. Okay, so we're gonna pick out from whatever I have, and like I said, you can get jelly rolls everywhere. Joann's, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Walmart. I haven't seen them at Target, but I'm not saying that they don't have them. And they have all different color things, and usually they're set up so that they have some sort of a theme and you can kind of work with a theme. Okay, so we're gonna just pick a variety. We'll use this one, and let's see, where's the end of it? This is, I mean, it's a long piece of fabric. And then let's use this one because this is so fun. And then let's use this one. Yeah, this is pretty too. Okay, so our theme is turquoise and light blue and orange. All right, and I'm gonna just soften up my jelly rolls just a little bit so they'll be easier to work with. I've done this idea with this braiding before, but I cannot for the life of me remember what the project was. Okay, so I'm folding each piece in half, and I'm going to clip it to my board. Let's clip this one in the center. And this actually is much easier to do if you're sitting in a chair and you have this Wilton cake board. You know what, let's do it on the other side so you can see better. I didn't think about that. Let's do it on this side. It's easier to do this when you have it on the floor so you can kind of hold it still with your foot if you're sitting down. But we're gonna make this work here. And I'll lift this up and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so these are my 3 long strips. We're not gonna make this long, but I just don't wanna cut them yet, okay? So if you know how to braid, and if you like crafts, most likely you know how to braid. We're just doing the simple 3-piece braid. I've got my pieces folded in half. I'm not gonna do it super tight. And I wanna leave a little bit of room here up at the top. And we can fiddle around with it after we're done and get it to look nice. Okay, this is the hard part, remembering which part I was on. So you can pull this as tight as you want. It just is personal preference. The first one I did is pretty tight, and I'll show you that again in just a minute. But I was thinking I might like it a little bit looser next go around. And I want the pretty side of the fabric to be on the outside. I'm gonna lift this up in just a second and show you. Can you guys see okay? I hope so. Your pieces are going to want to come unfolded as you're going along. You just kind of have to force them to do what you want them to do. The other thing is your tails are going to be all tangled up like what mine are doing. Okay, so we would keep going for as long as we wanted our braid to be. But this is plenty long. Although I could see doing like a grapevine wreath and using this as your base for your flowers on it, in which case you might want to do it so it's like, I don't know, 3/4 of the whole measurement of the wreath. Okay, so I just put a clip on this end just to hold it still for a minute, and I'm going to push this braid down a little bit tighter here at the start, and I'm going to put a clip on this to hold it. So this is what we have right now. Okay, I'm going to take it off my board. If you have somebody there with you, they can hold the ends of it. I never have any craft volunteers at my house. Nobody likes to craft. None of the guys want to craft with me, so I'm having to figure out alternatives to having somebody hold it. Okay, so I'm just making it look nice and somewhat even. I don't know what the word is. Tension. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to take this, and before I take the little thing off, I'm just going to tie a square knot right here. I don't want to mess up my braid too much. Okay, so I'm going to pull this down here. Okay, so there's one end. And I think that if you, you're going to find that, these knots get pretty big. Wow, there's 635 people on right now. So I hope you guys aren't getting tired of all the flowers. I promise you, I don't do flowers on every video. It's just, it's spring, or it's starting to be spring. And I have flowers on the brain right now. And so, I don't know. This will make 22 videos that I have on flowers. And actually I need to organize my YouTube channel a little better. I bet I have more than that. Okay, so this is what we have. I'm gonna cut this one off right here. And we can come back. What I was gonna do is just, let's do it right now. Just use my pinking shears. This is not absolutely necessary, but if you have some, it makes it look nicer. I'll cut this one about the same length. I don't think I did that last braid correctly, oh well. Okay, so here's what you get. And this is what we're gonna put our flowers on. So that's the first piece. Do you guys want me to tell you how long it is? I mean, it's not precise. The whole thing from bottom to top is around 14 inches and the braided part is around 8 or 9 inches long. Okay. All right, so now we're gonna make a rolled rosette / scrunched flower, okay? And I need just a piece of fabric. You guys remember how the rolled rosettes always start? They start on something like this. And I'm gonna use this for my start because this is so bright, it's the perfect inside of a flower, the very center. Okay, so if you've been watching this for very long, you know that we always start with a knot. This is going to form the very center part of the flower. I want it to look somewhat decent. Okay, that'll be pretty because it shows both colors. So I'm going to cut this little tail right here off. I hope my glue gun is hot. Okay, so the next step, oh look at my glue gun, it looks terrible. I have been working on my project for Saturday. I'm super excited. I don't know if I can wait to show you guys. I'm going to be part of this craft-a-thon thing, and I wanted to do something really fabulous. And anyways, I'm excited about it. So I'm going to just put a blob of glue in the center. I'll lift this up in just a second to show you. Can you see that? It's just in the center. All right, and then to do a rolled rosette, essentially what you're going to do is you're going to put glue around the center piece, and you're going to roll and stick it in there. Roll and twist. And if you want it to look messy, then you're going to really do it in a messy fashion. Okay, so I was going to tell you guys that this is one of those crafts. It seems like all my crafts are this way. One of these crafts where you could really burn yourself if you're using a real hot temperature hot glue gun. You can see I already have it all over my fingers. It's just impossible to not have it on your fingers. So, okay, so I'm going to go just a little bit further, just to right there. This is what I have so far. Okay, and I'm going to cut this tail off close, and then I'm just going to pop some glue in here and try to kind of smush it down. Where are my little pink fingers? These are also from Dollar Tree, same with these. But they're hard to work with, so that's why I just prefer to use low temperature hot glue. And the one I have, in case you're new, because I seem like I'm telling you guys every time, I don't make anything on this. I just don't want you to get burned. It's a Sure Bonder from Walmart or Hobby Lobby, and it's called a Cool Shot. Mine is the mini. It was about $8 or $9, and I'm using the Cool Shot glue sticks. They also have Cool Shot fabric low temperature hot glue, so you could use that too, but you don't need to because we're not going to wash this. You can just use regular glue. So this is what we have. Now let's look and see. There's a few areas where it could use a little bit more glue, and just push it down. Okay, and let's add a next, let me think. No, let's make this one the next layer, and what we're building is we're building a scrunched flower. Okay, so just trim up some of this mess here. When you're doing scrunched flowers, it's basically you're making a pile, a stack of flowers, and you're going to glue them all in the center, and then you're going to kind of scrunch up some of the different layers and use glue to kind of scrunch them a little bit. So these strips of fabric are kind of small. We're going to have to use 2 to make our biggest layer. So I'm going to just go around this. I'll show you up close in just a second. This is going to act like the first layer of our scrunched flower. And you could do absolutely any color in the center. You could make this very same idea if you have painter's drop cloth or canvas or jean material or anything you want. You don't have to have a jelly roll. It's not necessary. Okay, so let's do something a lighter color now. Let's use this. Okay, so we're going to put a little dot on the back, and we're going to set it right here. And this is what we've got, and I'm going to cut another circle, a bigger. They're getting bigger all the way around, and at this point you can start to do kind of funky shapes if you want, like a flower, in and kind of out. And you could have done that on the first layer too if you wanted. So if you guys decide to try these, I don't know what to call them. We need to figure out a name. But I definitely want to see pictures. So hop over to Dreamy DIY, and if you're not a member of that group already, it's just a group I set up on Facebook for us all to be able to share pictures of our craft projects, so we can get like a massive amount of ideas, and it's awesome. If you haven't joined it yet, it's Dreamy, D-R-E-A-M-Y, and then there's a space, DIY. Just type that in, it'll pull it up. You have to answer a couple of questions, no big deal. Okay, should we do one more layer and then, yeah, let's do that. We'll use this. And then we'll do the back, the very final one. And I'm just using up these little scraps. I'm kind of alternating colors. You might have noticed. If you had full-size fabric, this is easier to do. So if you're joining late, we did a really fun stencil, and we used 3 colors of chalk paste, and this is going to go on the outside of it, and it's a changeable sign. It was from Goodwill. It was inexpensive. It wasn't in great shape when I got it, and I hot glued some of those button magnets onto it. Okay, so let's do a little bit of scrunching right here. So I'm just going to lift up a layer and put a little glue underneath here, here and there, and then you just kind of pinch it just a little bit, this back layer. So this is kind of what it looks like. Can you see that? Let's see. I would do maybe 3 places on the back one. And it's not much glue, it's just enough to be able to do a little pinch. That kind of gives it, so it's not flat, it gives it some shape or some movement or something, I don't know. Most of these things that I'm doing here are things that I've just kind of figured out as I was going along. They're not like official things, they're just my ideas of how to do things. Okay, so you can see what the back of it looks like now. All right, and then let's just add a little bit more glue, and we're just gonna kind of scrunch this layer in a little bit. I'm just using my fingernail to kind of push it back and push it into the glue. And that's all there is to it, to these scrunched flowers. When you're doing it with like paper, like vintage dictionary pages or sheet music or something like that, you can also just actually scrunch them, and that looks great. But with fabric, it doesn't work. So we're kind of making the look that it's scrunched a little bit by, and I'm going to do this one just a teeny bit here and there. We're making a look of scrunching just with our hot glue. So I'm going 4 times, 4 little dots. And the messier, the better, seriously. Okay, so let me come close. When you get to this point, you can kind of look at it and you can kind of say, well, I think it's got too much on this side, or here or there, whatever, however you feel about it. I think this is cute though. Okay, so now I'm gonna create another one out of 2 pieces of fabric. And so that just means that we're just gonna glue 2 pieces of fabric together to get a little bit wider. When you're dealing with these jelly rolls and these narrower strips, that's just what you're gonna have to do. Okay? So I glued it on so it was sort of aligned, but not exactly. All right, and let's put a blob right here and set our little flower right on that. And then I'm gonna not scrunch, well, I'm gonna glue this one, but not scrunch it, but I'm gonna just cut a kind of a wavy edge. just love making flowers out of scraps. I love making flowers out of painter's drop cloth. I love doing flowers out of lace and stuff like that. Okay, and now I'm literally just gonna glue it so it's not flopping around too much. Just putting a little bit of glue around the edge. I like messy flowers, so I'm not gonna trim up the strings. I'm gonna leave them the way they are. This turned out pretty darn cute. This combination of colors is darling. Okay, so here's what we have. Isn't that cute? I wish you could see it in person. It's darling, absolutely darling. Okay, so let's come back to our project now. And in case you have just hopped on, you missed all of this, we used 3 colors of chalk: Tiffany teal, blue ice, and orange tiger. And it's chalk paste from Magnolia, and I put a link right here. They have a lot of great spring colors. This is totally outside of my norm, by the way, you guys. I usually am very boring and plain, but I'm trying to just step outside of my comfort zone a little bit and do brighter colors. So it's just a hodgepodge mix. All right. Oh shoot, I didn't get my button magnets out. Let me do that. And of course, there are under 10 other boxes. Yesterday I did a tour of my craft room, and whoops, let's see, this really is a mix. It's a thing of a bazillion different things. Okay, so these are button magnets. You can get these everywhere, everywhere. The larger ones work better. Dollar Tree sometimes has the larger ones. They mostly have the littler ones. All right, and those work too, but if your thing you're using it on is heavy, it's gonna be difficult. Okay, so we need to figure out, assuming we were using this one for this, we need to figure out which way we want it to lay, I think like this, and where would we need our magnets. So when you're creating your changeable sign, you can do it on anything. It doesn't have to be blackboard. You just want to put some, I just have button magnets glued up here in this corner. Thank you for the stars, Lori. I really appreciate that. Okay, so I have them already glued down because I've changed this out a few times. I've had this for a little while. This was on it before. Okay, so I'm gonna do it this way so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, I have found that it's easier to get the right magnet because some, they're polarized, you know, and they just need to be male and female together, essentially. So I'm gonna just take these off and I'm gonna see which side they stick to well. Okay, and we're just doing the 3. The bigger one. So these guys are awesome, but they're super dangerous. If you have little ones, you wanna keep a close eye on where they are and keep them up because it can present some very bad problems if a little one would put it in their mouth and swallow it. So I will put those, or pets, same deal. Of course, as adults, we're like, why would they want to do that? I don't know. So I'm gonna just put these actually on my board. Okay, that one's repelling. Doesn't like, there we go. And then I'll put glue here, and we'll glue our braid to it. What do you guys think so far? Yeah, watch the replay because I showed you how to create this. And this is just made with jelly rolls, and it's super cute. And you could do a ton of different things with this idea. Okay, so next up, my glue gun again. I'm going to start with the one in the corner. So I'm gluing it on the second magnet. The original one that's glued to the board, it will stay on there. And then I'm going to glue it right here. So I'm going to come close and show you. Oh, this is cute. Other than all the glue strings everywhere. Okay, it does not look finished though. It needs something. It probably needs 3 somethings, but for right now, we're just going to do this one. Okay, so we made this. This is a combination between a rolled rosette and a stacked or scrunched flower. And we were just using a jelly roll, which is those long strips of fabric that come and look like they're in a jelly roll that you can get everywhere. So I'm gonna glue my little flower on, I'm trying to see what's better, on this corner right here. I just find that it's easier if you glue on the actual thing so that you can see placement and all that. Look how cute that is. So I would probably do a small flower here and here. Now let me show you the one I made before I came live. It's not nearly as cute as this one. You can see that when you pick it up, the magnets come right off and then they go right back on. Isn't that nice? Okay, so this is the one that I made before I came live. And it has 3 flowers on it, all in the corner. You could space those out however you like. The center one is the combination deal. This one's a full rolled rosette, and this one's just a stacked flower. And I cut out a little piece that looks like a feather. And they're just glued on this, which is the exact same deal. You probably can see that I braided this one a lot tighter. It was the first one I made. I don't know, maybe I do like the tighter braid. I don't know. So let me show you what this looks like. Is that cute or what? If you like this idea of creating the braid and then doing the combination flower that is the rolled rosette and scrunched or stacked flower, give me a this or a this. Let me see what you guys think. What an awesome idea. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I was just fiddling around and remembering that I had braided something once before. I can't even remember what it was, but I braided fabric. And it was, oh, I think it was on a wreath actually. And so I knew I wanted to use a bunch of colors. I got out all my fabric and I pulled out this jelly roll and just picked out the colors. And I think it's pretty cute. So, if you like this idea, I put a link down here. Oh, thank you so much for the stars. I really appreciate it. I think that's Denise. I can't see that far away. Oh, hey, look at my new glasses while I'm just rambling. Aren't they cute? I ordered them from Peepers. This is the 3rd time I ordered them because the first 2 times they sent me the wrong prescription. They finally got it right. Anyways, I ordered them on Amazon. Okay, so what I was saying was, I put a link down here. Whoops, I don't need these. They're reading glasses. I put a link down here to my Magnolia website, and you can get some great surfaces to do this project on. You can get stencils, chalk paste, squeegees, ink, a ton of different things there. And they have a ton of colors of chalk paste right now that are awesome. Thank you, Jenna. I appreciate you doing the stars. So if you're interested, you just want to take a peek. I've made it easy. I put a link right there. It has 2 hot pink stars and a sunflower in the center. Okie dokie. Well, I'm tempted to show you a little sneak peek. Let me give you just a little one for Saturday. Just a little sneak peek. This is also very colorful, and I'm going to make some other things kind of to go with it. This is that new bunny, and I used a bunch of different colors of ink. Okay, so he doesn't have a tail on him yet. He will get one, but look at this. These are the eggs that's part of that other stencil set, and I just used, oh, there's his tail. I'll hold it up in just a second. I just used a variety of colors. It's going to be so cute. Okay, so here's his tail. So these are available, the bunny stencils and the Happy Easter is what the eggs are part of. They are available here on my website if you want to look. I think that I'm going to do a lot of projects before Easter with that. And I'll use them again next year for sure because they're super duper cute. Alrighty, well, thank you guys so much for joining me. If you have any questions, let me know that in the comments. I see a lot of people saying, I love the bunny. Go check it out. They have some cute stencils, and they have, when you go to stencils, they have a category called new products or something like that. And that's where most of the newer things are if you want to just look at what's new. Anyways, feel free to sprinkle. Let me know if you have questions. I will get pictures. I'll take pictures of both of the little things that we made, and I'll put those here in the comments, and also I'll put them on DiyDreaming. Okay, one last thing. If you want to make sure that you have a chance to see what I'm doing, because Facebook is such a mystery. They just want to know, they want to see that you like it by your interaction. So if you do this or this, it counts as an interaction, and they say, they interacted, they must want to see it. Or if you say something in the comments, that counts as an interaction. But the most important thing that you can do is to like and follow DiyDreaming. And I send out hundreds of invitations every day. If you're watching this, chances are I've sent you an invitation, but I don't know if you saw it. You can look up here on the 3 buttons to see if you've liked and followed DiyDreaming. That's super important to them also. Other than that, I cannot explain Facebook. Anyways, thanks for joining me. I will see you guys tomorrow with a fun project that will be quick. It'll be easy. You won't have to have any serious artistic or crafting skills. It'll be something that's maybe a little different, like this flower idea was. It probably won't be flowers tomorrow. So if you're sick of flowers, don't worry. It'll be something kind of unusual, and most likely it'll be either faith or family focused. Sometimes we do bunnies, but most of the time we do faith and family projects here. Lots of Bible verses. That's my favorite. All right, have a great rest of your day. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you guys later.